Hey everybody, this is going to be the demo video. I wanted to be able to explain and walk you through it. So I'm going to start the video and then kind of explain what you're doing for page 3. So I hope you guys are happy, having a good weekend. If not, some days aren't the best. So get your sketchbook. You guys should have already completed the activity from the first day that you were here this week, depending on what group. So day 1 was a warm-up using the line as movement worksheet. If you were not here, I have attached this image to the Google Classroom assignment so you can see the reference images you were copying in those 4 squares. If I told any of you you didn't need to complete them, cross out the square with an X and I'll know I gave you the go-ahead to move forward. The second day in class, we did the pattern challenge with the nature words. So remember, you were to choose any word from nature. I did water and wood right here just as examples. And I will also add in the screenshot of the board from class if you need to see that. You can choose any words you want from nature, but the biggest thing I'm looking for is that you're creating pattern, filling up the entire page, having things go off the edge of your square. This is kind of how you do that wood grain if you weren't in class. Create those spirals, make your straight lines. When you hit one of those spirals, just go around it. Use your references online to look for ideas if you aren't sure what to do, but 4 patterns from nature words and no exact pictures, okay? So this is the outside of class work. It needs to be done before you return. So if you're in the group that comes Monday and Tuesday, you need to have it done. If you're in the group that comes Thursday, Friday, you need to have it done before you come back to school. So page 3, number it, and overlapping is the title. 4 squares again, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Overlapping is just a technique that makes it seem as though the paper is 3-dimensional. So you have something going in front and something going behind. In reality, it's a flat paper, so none of that is occurring. So what you do is you just decide to not include part of the element that isn't supposed to be seen. What I just did there was show you that you got to make sure things line up. If you're not careful and make sure that it looks like it's going through it, the breaking or the offset of those lines is going to not make the effect as strong. So here I'm showing you how to do some curvy kind of stripes that weave in and out like a basket. So you have to decide which one you want to be in front, and you're just going to erase the part of the stripe that would be behind the line. So this one I had that long stripe going behind the initial one I had, and then on this edge I'm going to have it go in front. So you just have to erase the lines of what you cannot see. So big point, draw lightly. Okay, if you're scarring the paper and just digging into it, when you erase those lines, you're going to leave some residue or scratching, and you're not going to get the same effect. So draw really lightly. Once you do your erasing, you could always go back in and darken the elements that you added to make sure that it shows how it's overlapping. Okay, so I'm only doing a few just to give you guys an idea. I would want you to do more and really fill up that space. You don't have to follow the patterns I'm doing. You could do 4 different stripe squares. You could have each one with completely different approach. I'm going to show you a few different ones. I love to use these green stencils that I have in the classroom. Obviously, you don't have those at home, so maybe a quarter or any other objects you can find to help you trace some shapes might help your patterns look a little bit more clean. So if you're hand drawing stuff, just like with the other activities, make sure lines are connected. Okay, if you're doing a circle, don't have it open. Make sure things look like solid objects that are complete. Otherwise, this effect is not going to be as obvious to the viewer. So here I have 3 shapes. I want that circle to stay in the back. So that means any lines of the circle that are in any other shape, I'm going to erase them. And now that rectangle's in front, and so is that triangle. You could add in some stripes again. If you go online and search overlapping patterns, you might get some more ideas, but you guys are welcome to come up with them yourselves. Stick with more abstract shapes, lines, okay? You could do, I think I'll do one with flowers in a little bit, but we're creating pattern, okay? So here I'm drawing some shapes over top of them, and then it's just a matter of deciding which element I want to be in front and which element I want to be in back. So if I want that triangle on top of that rectangle, then the line of the rectangle I will erase, which I'll do here in a minute. Notice how I'm having shapes go off the edge of the square. I'm not drawing the whole thing, but I want you guys to fill these squares up so that way it doesn't look like the patterns just stop and float in the middle of the square that you're designing in. So here I am again, erasing what I don't want to be in front. And now that circle looks behind. Okay, there I am again, making that triangle in front. Sometimes when you erase, you're going to have to clean up the edges. So make sure you're drawing lightly. You need to get better at not scarring the paper. Okay, so the third design that you guys can try, and again, you don't have to do anything like I'm doing. You can make it completely different, is like a nature pattern, kind of mixing all the activities that we did this week to create some overlapping designs. You can do the stripes again if you want, if that's something you're working towards. Hi. This one's kind of fun. It looks like fish scales. So what you want to do is start from the bottom and work your way up, or start from one side and work your way to another side. And you just create the arches wherever you can and stop when you hit another line. This is going to make it seem as though you have scales going behind the other ones. You could color them in, but continue it. Don't just stop like I did. The third one I'm going to do with a little bit more recognizable objects. So there are flowers and some other elements. And then I'm going to mix in some shapes as well. Again, there's no rule on what you guys have to do other than create 4 patterns using overlapping. Okay, get creative, think outside the box, look up ideas if you're struggling, and have some fun. Get it done before you come back to school. The plan is to start our project, so if you're behind, you're going to be behind starting the project. So get it done. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in class whatever day you come. Good luck.